Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Gigi Respati Yudistianto, and I am a student of School of Business and Management in ITB. In this occasion, I want to deliver the presentation for Economic and Business Landscape Analysis subject. The topic is about the microeconomic analysis in energy and sustainability. And this presentation, the title is the cost analysis of electric arc furnace technology for low carbon steel production in Indonesia. And in this presentation, we will also talk about the carbon border adjustment mechanism challenges. The first part is about the introduction and background. So in 2015, the United Nations through UNFCCC create a Paris Agreement which aim to limit a global average temperature increase below 2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level. Those Paris Agreement then followed by the Indonesian government. So in 2016, Indonesia ratifies the Paris Agreement with Law number 16. Later, Indonesia set nationally determined contribution or NDC with the target of reducing emission by 31.89% unconditionally and 43.2% with the support from a developed country in year 2030. Indonesia set target for carbon neutral in 2060 or sooner. Ministry of Industry set the target for carbon neutral in industrial sector 10 years earlier in 2050. And then the European Union, following the Paris Agreement, issuing what we call European Green Deal, which targeting the emission reduction by 55% in 2030. With the European Green Deal, they also applied the European Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, which proposed to apply the same playing field related to carbon costs of imported products compared with the products being produced in the facility in European. So the purpose of the CBAM is to reduce the risk of EU climate's objective being violated by production relocation to the countries with less ambitious target, or we call it the carbon leakage. There are 6 types of goods which become the target of the CBAM. The first one is cement, and then iron and steel, aluminum, and then fertilizer, electricity, and the latest one is hydrogen. To ensure the smooth implementation of this CBAM regulation, the European Commission applied the transitional period from October 1st until the end of December 2025. In this transitional period, the importers have obligation to report the embedded emission in the goods imported into European Union, but it is still not have a financial effect. So the obligation only for reporting the embedded emission. They must report every quarter in the year. But after 2026, the CBAM regulation will be fully implemented in the European Union, so the financial effect will take place. Indonesia iron and steel sector will be significantly impacted with this CBAM regulation because based on the ISIA data in year 2023, Indonesia export steel to Europe more than 900,000 ton or equal to 637 million US dollar. This is representing 5% of the total steel export into the other countries and representing the 5% of total export from Indonesia. 5% is a third largest export number because there is only China and Taiwan has the bigger proportion than the steel export to Europe. And the next is we will talk about the steel production routes, cost, and emission. So a majority of the steel production facility in the world is dominated by the blast furnace and basic oxygen furnace routes. It accounts 22% from the total of the steel production facilities. The rest is using electric arc furnace. So we can divide the production routes into two categories. The first one is a primary production. We call it primary production because we process or we produce steel from the iron ore through the several process until becoming steel. And the second one is a secondary production route. In this route, the steel making process using a scrap or the recycled material as the raw material. So the process is only processing the scrap and then melting and producing the steel. How about the production costs of those commercially available routes in the world? Based on International Energy Agency data in 2020, blast furnace and basic oxygen furnace routes has the lowest production cost, as we can see in this picture. So BF-BOF routes has the lowest production cost, and then followed by the scrap-based electric arc furnace, and the last or the highest production cost is the gas-based direct reduced iron and EAF routes. How about the emission? Unfortunately, the blast furnace and basic oxygen furnace route has the highest emission. It emits around 2.2 ton of CO2 per ton steel produced. Scrap-based EAF has the lowest emission because this process is only a secondary process, so it's like a halfway into the product. The emission is only 0.3 ton of CO2 per ton steel produced. Natural gas-based DRI and EAF route has the emission lower than BOF but still higher than a scrap-based electric arc furnace. It emits around 1.4 ton CO2 per ton steel. With the CBAM regulation and the carbon tax, which averaging at $80 per ton CO2 in Europe, the steel production will be impacted based on their respective emission of the production route. So that's why it is important to analyze those impact to see the cost competitiveness of each route after the CBAM regulation or carbon tax in European is implemented. The third part is about the steel production routes. First route, we will go more detail into the blast furnace and basic oxygen furnace routes. So the BF-BOF routes have several pre-processing facilities, like for example the coke plant. In this coke plant, we process the coking coal into the coke. Coke will be used as a feeding material for a blast furnace plant. The function is for the reducing agent and also the source of the heat. And then we have also a sinter plant. Sinter plant process the iron ore into the sinter ore. Sinter ore is the iron ore which already baked and also have the specific size, because in the blast furnace we need to have the specific size of iron ore to make sure that the reduction process can be conducted perfectly. We also have the pelletizing plant, or sometimes there is also a facility that get the pellet from other source, so they do not have, it's not obligation to have the pelletizing plant. In the blast furnace, iron ore and cokes will be processed and melted to create the hot metal. Hot metal is the melted iron. So the iron ore is becoming iron already because it's already being reduced. And then the hot metal will be processed in the basic oxygen furnace. So in the basic oxygen furnace, the hot metal will be blown by the oxygen to take out its carbon. So the steel will get purified and the carbon content is less than 2%. The product from basic oxygen furnace, we call it the crude steel. So the crude steel then can be casted to become slab or billet steel. In this blast furnace, basic oxygen furnace process, we can get the byproduct gas, which still have quite high calorific value. There are three kind of byproduct gas. The first is the COG, or coke oven gas from coke oven plant, and then BFG, or blast furnace gas from blast furnace plant, and the third one is BOF gas, or we usually call it LDG. This is the byproduct gas from the basic oxygen furnace. The byproduct gas can be fuel for our power plant, which generates electricity to be used in the steelmaking facilities. The second route is gas-based DRI EAF. So this is same with BF-BOF routes. This is categorized as primary production routes, but they, instead of using a coal, they use the natural gas. So the raw material is DRI pellets, and then will be fed into the shaft furnace. Inside the shaft furnace, the pellet will be reduced using reformed natural gas. So the natural gas, the first will be reformed into the CO and also hydrogen. The CO and hydrogen then act like reducing agent for the iron ore in the shaft furnace. Output of the shaft furnace is direct reduced iron. This is still a solid state of material, and then the DRI will be melted inside the electric arc furnace using the electric power. Sometimes in electric arc furnace also we can add scrap or pig iron or other metallic input to become the mix with the DRI. The product of electric arc furnace then it's crude steel, and we can cast the crude steel, and the same with BF and BOF will become slab or billet steel. The last production route is a scrap-based EAF. So in this route, the main raw material is the scrap. But we can also combine the scrap with the pig iron or with DRI to be melted inside the electric arc furnace. The electric arc furnace product is the crude steel, and then it can be cast to produce slabs and billet. That is more or less detailed explanation about the BF-BOF routes, gas-based DRI, electric arc furnace route, and the scrap-based electric arc furnace. Okay, now we are entering the cost competitiveness analysis. In this first part, we will apply the Indonesian carbon tax into the cost of the steel. So the production cost for each production route is shown in the table. So I get the capex and opex data from the published article of the International Energy Agency. So for BF and BOF, the capex is 73 and opex 68. Fuel energy is 60.39, and raw material, this is the most cost component, 185.08. So the total production cost is 386.47. Gas-based DRI EAF also have the big portion in the raw material, and the second component is the fuel and energy. It has the higher production cost compared to the blast furnace and BOF routes. Its production cost is $488.08 per ton steel. The last is scrap-based EAF. In this route, the dominant cost component is the raw material. So it more than 60%. The cost is for raw material cost. The total cost of scrap-based EAF is still above the BF and BOF routes, but it is lower than a gas-based DRI EAF. Now we talk about the specific emission for each production route. So in the BF and BOF routes, the specific emission is 1.88 ton CO2 per ton steel. The most emission is coming from the use of the coke, and the second is from the coal, and the third is from the iron ore. So there is not a big portion of the emissions coming from the electricity and natural gas. For a gas-based DRI EAF, the total emission is lower than the BF-BOF. It's 1.775, and the most emission is coming from electricity and from natural gas consumption. For the third routes, scrap-based EAF routes, the emission is 0.577 ton CO2 per ton steel, and the biggest portion is coming from the electricity. This is almost 0.461 ton CO2 per ton steel. So with the carbon tax in Indonesia, which is around $2 per ton CO2, the BF-BOF will get the additional cost from the carbon tax 3.76, and a gas-based DRI EAF 3.55. The scrap-based EAF will get additional cost of 1.55. So the total cost of the three steel production routes, the BF-BOF still have the lowest production cost plus the Indonesian carbon tax in $390 per ton, followed by the scrap-based EAF with $428 per ton, and the last is a gas-based DRI EAF with $492 per ton. So with the low carbon tax applied, it is not changing the cost competitiveness of the three steel production routes. So this is still the same condition compared with when we do not imply the carbon tax. Okay, so now we go to the second condition of analysis. This is when we apply the European carbon tax into the total cost of the steel produced. The production cost is still the same number like before. The emission is also still the same, but with the European carbon tax with a value of $81.93 per ton CO2, the BF-BOF routes will get a 154 additional cost from a carbon tax. Gas-based DRI EAF will get a $145.42 per ton steel, and the scrap-based will get a $47.3 per ton steel. And with this additional carbon tax from the European Union, the total cost of the BF-BOF is 540, and then gas-based DRI EAF 634, and the scrap-based EAF has the lowest total cost of 474. So there are 150 increment, and $142 increment in the gas-based DRI-EAF, and 46 increment in a scrap-based EAF. In the region with the big enough carbon tax, the scrap-based EAF routes will get the advantage because its emission is very low. So the impact of the carbon tax is less than another production routes. The cost competitiveness of BF-BOF, which previously superior compared with the other routes, now it's less competitive compared to the scrap-based electric arc furnace. So this is a positive sign, yeah. And it indicates that the carbon tax can encourage the steel producer to use the lower carbon emitting technologies in steel production. Okay, after we compare the total cost competitiveness in Indonesia carbon tax and then European carbon tax, I want to explore more about the carbon tax imposed to the steel production routes. But now we will have additional scenario of using renewable energy certificate or REC. So REC is like some kind of certificate that we use the renewable energy as our electricity source. Normally REC will add additional costs for electricity costs, but then we can claim that the emission factor of the electricity is zero because it comes from the renewable energy. Using the REC price from PLN in Indonesia, which is 35,000 Indonesian rupiah per megawatt hour, there are slight energy costs, slight increase energy costs in all the routes, but mostly in gas-based DRI-EAF and scrap-based EAF because they use more electricity than BF-BOF. And the calculation of the specific emission for each production route, we can see that the electricity emission factor is 0 here. So the emission from electricity is also 0. This will result the emission of BF-BOF routes is 1.792 ton CO2 per ton steel, and gas-based DRI-EAF reduced into 0.848 ton CO2 per ton steel, and the scrap-based EAF has a very low emission. It is a 0.117 ton CO2 per ton steel. With this profile of the emission, then the additional carbon tax, still using the European price carbon tax. For a BF-BOF route, there is not significant changing. Yeah, this is still 146.84 additional cost, and for gas-based DRI-EAF is 69.45, And then the scrap-based EAF is $9.55 per ton still. And the total cost for this scenario, the BF-BOF total emission is 534. This is decreasing $7 per ton because the use of the REC and the decrease of the emission. For a gas-based DRI-EAF, 560 still more expensive than the BF-BOF, but the reduction is quite significant. The reduction is $73 per ton. And the last route, scrap-based electric arc furnace, still have the most competitive cost compared with the other two routes. The total cost is 438, and they can get the decrease by $36 per ton. So from this scenario, we can see that using the renewable energy certificate electricity or REC can further reduce the total cost of the steel production route. It will have a big impact on the gas-based DRI-EAF and scrap-based EAF, but it will only have a marginal impact on the blast furnace and basic oxygen furnace route. Okay, now is the time for the conclusion. So from the research, calculation, and analysis of the three scenarios, we can make a conclusion as follow. The first one, the carbon tax and CBAM tariff in European Union will induce a positive and a significant impact on cost competitiveness of steel produced through a scrap-based electric arc furnace. So as we can see in the two scenarios, for the European carbon price, the scrap-based EAF have the lowest total cost of production steel. Number two, in the region with the low carbon tax, for example like Indonesia, BF and BOF route still have the most competitive costs compared to scrap-based EAF and gas-based DRI and EAF route. This is because the emission did not have the big impact because the carbon tax is low, so the additional cost is a very small percentage compared with the carbon tax in Europe. The number three, the higher carbon tax will drive a steel producer doing transition to low carbon steel making technology like scrap-based electric arc furnace. So from our scenario, the scrap-based EAF will have lowest production cost, total cost, and this will means that the steel makers will be encouraged to do the transition or to shifting in using a scrap-based electric arc furnace. And the number four, REC purchase can further increase the cost competitiveness of scrap-based electric arc furnace and gas-based DRI and EAF route, but have marginal effect on BF and BOF routes. This is because in the scrap-based EAF and gas-based DRI EAF, they consume a big portion of electricity. So REC is only for electricity. If we purchase REC, then the emission from electricity will be zero, and it will impact more to the routes which consume more electricity. Okay, thank you. That's all from me about the cost competitiveness analysis for the electric arc furnace technology and also the others steel production routes. Hope this is can have the benefit for the viewers. Thank you and see you in the next occasion.